Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. So people were talking about this new US visa rule, and honestly it sounds pretty tough. But I'm going to break it down for you so you actually understand what's going on, who it affects, and what it means for people who still sees the United States as a land of honey, milk, and a lot of opportunities. So if the US is a dream country for you still, you need to watch this video and know how this new rule is going to affect you. So the US has expanded its already existing visa bond program. Yeah, I know. So this program requires some visitors from specific countries to pay a refundable deposit of up to $15,000 before you can enter their country. Yeah. So this applies to the B1 visas, which is usually the business visa, and the B2 visa, which is the tourism visa. So if you're selected under this program, you will have to post a refundable bond of up to $15,000 before you can enter the United States of America. So it could range from, let's say, 5,000, 10,000, or even 15,000, which is the maximum. Or I think there's more, but let's leave it at 15,000. That's all we know. So that's depending on how the visa officer assesses you during an interview. So you could pay either of this from 5,000 to 15,000. So think of it like a security deposit. I live in Canada. So for example, if you rent a house, you are going to pay a damage deposit to your landlord. And that money is so that when you move out, if there's any damages, your landlord can now use that money to fix the house. So that is what this is, literally. But in this case, the US is basically saying, give me $15,000. I'll let you into my country and I'll give you back your money when you leave my country. Yeah, guys, this feels like a business transaction. It is a business transaction. It's business. Now, who is this going to affect? I think that's the million-dollar question. Everyone wants to know, who is it going to affect? Is it going to affect me? Is it going to affect my country? I'm going to tell you who it's going to affect. So this program currently covers 38 countries, and they are mainly African countries, South Asia countries, and Latin America. So some countries were recently added to the list, and those countries include Nigeria, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Zimbabwe, Benin Republic, Uganda, Angola, Djibouti, and Algeria, amongst others. In South Asia, we have countries like Bangladesh and Nepal that was recently included. And in Latin America, we have countries like Venezuela. It's been on the news lately, you know that. And we have Cuba amongst other countries. Now, how is this bond going to be paid? That's another very important question, because there's a lot of people. I'm gonna warn you to begin, because there's a lot of people who love to use third-party agent for visa processing. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But here's the problem. I know like it can feel very easy because really not a visa application. I'm going to tell you it's a lot of information, a lot of documents. So this visa agent makes this process easy. So there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to paying for this, you have to listen clearly. The US says no third party. So what the United States is saying is, do not pay this bond through a third-party service. It must be paid directly through the US government's website. If you pay through someone else and let's say something happens, they start to tell you stories, or things are looking blurry, it doesn't make sense, the US is not responsible because you didn't give the money to them. You gave it to someone else or a third-party website or service or agent. So this is very, very important. The bond is only paid after the US consular officer instructs you to do so. So you have to be told before you pay the money. You can't just go and pay. Don't do that. You have to be instructed to do so before you pay. And at this point, the applicant must complete a form. I think it's called the Form 1352, and you have to pay electronically through the pay.gov website, which is the official US government payment method. Now, another big question that everyone has is, okay, after I have paid this money, how do I get my money back? Because let's be honest, $15,000 is a lot of money. This is how you're going to get your money back if you're wondering. This is how the system works. You get your money back only if you leave the United States before your authorized stay expires, or if you are denied entry at the border. We already know that when you have a visa, it's not a guarantee to enter your country. The border agents can say, no, go back to your country. So if they do that, you're going to get your money back, or if you leave before your visa expires. So technically, again, you get your money back, but let's be honest, $15,000 is a lot of money, especially to hand over to a security to hand over as a security deposit, unless you have like so much money lying down somewhere and maybe $15,000 means nothing to you, then you're good to go. How do I feel about this policy and this system? Honestly, I have my reservations because I've been pondering about this all night and I'm like, it's 50-50 for me, but let's talk about it. Let's be real here. People who overstay their stay in the US are not doing so because they're looking for extra vacation time or, oh, I love the US so much, so I'm going to stay 2 days extra. No, those are not the kind of people who overstay. That may happen, but that's not what the statistics show. People who overstay that stay in the US are doing so because some of them are looking for opportunities to work, to earn money, to improve their lives, or sort out their immigration status. So anyone who is truly desperate to go to the United States, to call the United States home, or to make a living out of the United States, will risk that $15,000. So it makes me wonder and ask, is this $15,000 going to prevent people from overstaying their stay in the US? Because that's why the US is doing this. It claims that these people from these countries are overstaying their stay. So this money is supposed to discourage people from overstaying. So again, the people who want to overstay or the people who want to stay back in the US, who want to violate their visa and stay back, can risk that $15,000 because people are already paying a lot of money to try to get into the United States in different ways. So $15,000 might, maybe not mean anything to them. So personally, I do think that this policy will discourage the people who already... this policy will not discourage the people who already have plans to overstay. What it will do is that it's going to create a huge barrier, a hindrance, a financial constraint for people with legitimate reasons who want to travel or visit the United States of America. So let's say people who are going on business trips, conferences, tourism, cultural exchange, or people who have families in the US. They just want to go visit family, but they can't do that because they don't have $15,000 lying down somewhere. Let's take Nigeria as an example. $15,000 is nothing less than 16 to 17 million naira, if not more. So I don't see this is a lot of money for an ordinary person to just pick and give to the United States as a security deposit. I mean, we get your money back, but what if you don't have the money? So most people who are going to the United States for legitimate business, honestly, do not necessarily or really have that money lying down somewhere. So even those who might, hesitate to put their life savings as a security deposit for a country, there are people don't want to do that. They don't want to give their life savings to the United States and say, hey, take this money and give me back. What if you don't get it back? What if maybe time to get it back? There's so many stories. I mean, the US says it's going to be straightforward. You get your money back automatically, but what if? What if? There's that concern. So what happens to people who do not have that financial capacity? Does it mean that they can attend those conferences? They can go for vacations, they can go for business trips, or they can go see their family? That's the question that I have. And that's what I want people to talk about. So even though this policy looks good surface level, it's affecting real legitimate people. So this is currently a pilot program. That's what the US says, and it's expected to run until mid-2026. The US government may review this program as time goes on. Some countries may be removed or some may be added. We don't know yet, but that's what is likely going to happen. My hope is that the United States will eventually revisit those lists and consider the impact that these have on, genuine travelers with honest intentions, because there will always be bad actors, let's be for real, that will ruin things for the good people, for the legitimate people. I feel like there needs to be a balance somewhere. There needs to be a middle ground. There need to be policies that don't affect those legitimate people. It's hard, but something can be done. Well, for now, things are not looking so good, but we're going to keep following this story, and I'll keep tracking it, and I'll update you as things develop. If the US changes anything, I'm sure gonna let you know. I'm sure you will. I'm hoping you enjoyed this video and it was educative. It has all the necessary information, so answers all the questions that you have. If there's any other question that you have about this policy, let me know in the comments. I will try my best to explain. And if you are interested in world politics, Nigerian politics, African politics, please follow this YouTube account where we discuss trendy topics and I will give my opinions and commentary. Thank you so much for watching today and have a good day. Please make sure you subscribe. It costs you nothing. Thank you so much. Bye now.